Well, it seems like one of DC's most anticipated movies next year has had a test screening and it turned out pretty good. Let's take a couple minutes to talk about Blue Beetle, the test screening, and some of the feedback we are hearing online. Well, Blue Beetle is going to be something quite new for DC Films, and fans have been anticipating this for quite a while. We've got a new report suggesting there was a test screening and it was positive, so let's take a couple minutes to dive into that report and talk about what's going on. Now, before we do that, though, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell for all the news. This is a place for all the Marvel and DC news where you will actually find out the truth. We won't feed you any fake scoops or rumors, and we're always transparent. Well, 2022 has been pretty shaky for DC Films. There has been a ton of upheaval, and going into 2023, we seem to have a lot to look forward to, as well as the oncoming 10-year plan. Now, one movie a lot of people are really looking forward to is Blue Beetle, which arrives in theaters next August. Now, details on the film have been really held back from many fans, but we did find out via Animated Times that there has been an early test screening and the reactions have been pretty positive. Now, in this most recent report, the Animated Times actually says there have been some early test screenings and reactions say the movie is super entertaining and features some great hand-to-hand combat. Well, as an early reaction, I think this is pretty positive. Calling the movie super entertaining is exactly what we want to hear, and honestly, great action leads to great superhero movies. This does make a lot of sense when you think about Xolo Maridueña is part of Cobra Kai, and he clearly has a nice background in hand-to-hand combat and fighting, so this actually works out pretty good for fans. I really am curious if you guys think Xolo's background in martial arts is going to make for a better movie. This bit of the report sounds perfect, and I can't wait. The same report goes on to suggest that this won't be panned by the critics and something that is likely to be widely embraced. This is really great news. It makes the movie sound fun and energetic, and something new to the DC universe. Blue Beetle is typically a teenage kid and not some brooding adult figure like Batman. This should create a great new tone for a DC movie, and quite honestly, the costume for this character is on the top of the list of all comic book costumes, so I think this is going to be something very positive for DC. I imagine this movie is going to be very similar to Spider-Man, or at least Spider-Man's tone, and run along very similar lines to the most recent Tom Holland Spider-Man saga, focusing on his home life and all those things that are important out of the costume. Those are things that make Spider-Man work in the comics, well, make Peter Parker work. And for Blue Beetle, I think focusing on the home life of Jaime Reyes and how all these things impact that home life are going to be exactly how they connect him with the audiences. I am curious if you guys think this comparison to Spider-Man is fair. It is a new way to go for DC, but it might create something new. Sound off in the comments below. If you're a fan of Spider-Man, you probably should be pretty optimistic about this film. I think DC might have something special on their hands, and I can't wait till next August when we finally get to see the movie. Now, the movie is 9 months out, so we still are pretty early for a trailer, but I do expect by WonderCon we will have a look at this movie and definitely a full-on trailer before Comic-Con. If we get any more news about these test screenings, we're going to bring it to you right away. Typically, these test screenings give us a really good idea of what we're in store for. And often when we get positive feedback from the test screening, the end product tends to be awesome. Quite honestly, over the last couple of years, these test screenings have brought out negative news, and to have such a positive response to this test screening is great news. I honestly feel like this project has the makings of something special.